Hi, I'm Robert Grosshandler. It's my pleasure to talk about crowdfunding with two great people. I'm here with Jordan Fishfeld and Mike Brennan. We're going to talk about crowdfunding because it's a happening thing not only in the Kickstarter and Indiegogo world, but it's happening in the real estate world, and these guys are experts about real estate. I'd like you guys to introduce yourselves a little bit.
My name is Jordan Fishfeld. I'm the co-founder and CEO of PeerRealty. It's a primary marketplace focused on crowdfunding investment-grade real estate and making those opportunities available to, right now, the accredited investor population, which we'll go into a little bit more, and hopefully soon the general population.
Michael, tell us a little bit about you.
Good afternoon. My name is Mike Brennan. I'm chairman and co-founder of Brennan Investment Group. We are dedicated exclusively to the industrial real estate sector, and that means factories and warehouses, and we do it all across the country. We have about 25 million square feet from California to New York, New Jersey, and down as far south as Florida and Texas. And we find our investments by building them, or by buying them, or by renovating them.
That's very interesting. So what we have here are two people who are on sort of opposite sides of a transaction. You've got your folks who are worrying about the investor side of a transaction, and I think people in your position are often called sponsors or developers, or in my case, a business owner. But we're dealing in this world of crowdfunding where many of us are familiar with Indiegogo and Kickstarter. Can you give us a little context, Jordan?
Yeah, well, the crowdfunding industry separates really into two very distinct tranches or markets. The rewards and donations side, which is you're really giving money and you're getting either a tax deduction or you're getting a little trinket, and that's your Kickstarter, your Indiegogo, or your Rocket Hub. Great platforms to test ideas or raise money for music. Not what really we do. We look at the investment side of the crowdfunding space, really giving investors an opportunity to place capital into a project that they intend the result to be a return on investment. So
you're putting together deals, Mike, and you've chosen to include the accredited investor in the crowdfunding world, the equity crowdfunding world. Why are you including equity crowdfunding as part of your capital mix?
Right. I would say that we think that the crowdfunding industry is on the precipice of a new frontier that offers many benefits, both to the sponsor as well as to the investor. Fundamentally, I think the investor is a beneficiary of this because he has access to private investments and entrepreneurial investments. And as the industry evolves to more, I think, great entrepreneurs, there's many people in my business that do things that I do or in other sectors that are also worthy sponsors. And so crowdfunding opens the door to those people in a way that is not possible or ever was.
So I know that Brennan Investments really prides itself on having local knowledge and having people in every market that really understand the deals. And when we were talking about this earlier, you were talking about how you thought crowdfunding gave people more access to more/better deals somehow. Can you talk a little bit to that?
Again, nothing like this has ever really existed before, so this is the first time. So all the big public companies, I was a co-founder of First Industrial, which is a publicly traded company, and many of my peers and other people they're really amalgamations of entrepreneurial efforts. They dearly depend upon that local knowledge. So all things in the real estate business usually began with one entrepreneur. And now you have the chance in crowdfunding to sort through individual entrepreneurial deals that you have. So that's the promise of it.
Yeah, and I think to kind of jump in on that, you're exactly right. The responsibility lies a lot with the platforms, a lot with the sponsors, but the efficiency of use of capital is, I think, what makes it really exciting. You mentioned private REITs. I see crowdfunding as, first a real disintermediation of the professional capital raising class, we can call it. When you can access your investors and thousands upon thousands of investors through any of the crowdfunding platforms that exist, it allows for those dollars to go in, and the returns are reflected in that.
As we close out our afternoon together, any final thoughts that you want to share with us?
The focus that I see with crowdfunding is finding those local markets that you understand, those investments that you can understand, and using the growth of crowdfunding to diversify your portfolio appropriately. So it's really, really exciting time for the equity crowdfunding space for the investor. I think for the sponsors, we're starting to see a lot of new opportunities open up in using the crowdfunding space. I think definitely having equity available from the retail level when credit markets dry up or when institutional capital dries up is going to be really, really exciting for those sponsors who have a great track record during the next down, which we hope is a little bit further away.
To your sort of your summary question about sort of final observations on it. I mean, it is important that I said it's a new frontier, and so that means that there's territory to traverse. I think they can bring forth very interesting opportunities for the investor, and I think for investor and sponsor alike, they can cut a lot of the transactional costs, which are in some cases abominable and high and not helpful to the sponsor to make transactions work, or to the investor who has to live with the cost and burden of that.
Well, again, I want to thank both of you for sharing your time and your knowledge with us. And I suspect on our screen we'll have your contact information, appropriate contact information. So again, thank you very much.